Bradford, ever since being traded from Philadelphia, he has looked amazing. He's not just managing the game, he is taking it
Sadly
to the next
enough,
level.
just 5 years ago, that was me. Minimal to no broadcasting training or any skills. I'm Jansen Harris, CEO of the Just Good Network. Over the last 5 years, I've come up with practical ways to get better speaking with confidence on camera and doing voiceovers. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, if you're 70, if you dropped out of high school, if you have a GED, if you have 15 years experience in a different field. There are practical techniques that you could do day by day to get better, week by week. And I have a training program for that. If you're interested in getting better in transparent and practical ways, inbox me today or visit us at justgoodnetwork.org. Let's get better together.
Hello, everybody. Jalen Harris here with the Fly High Podcast. Got the show with me today, Travis, Nate, and Sean. What's up, fellas?
How you doing? How you doing?
What's good? What's good? What's good?
Everybody should be in a good mood. The Falcons are 2-3 heading into the bye. The London game, and what was special about that game is this: everybody in the country saw the game, national TV. It's rare you see the Jets and the Falcons get national games, but they did. So I think that's something I had to throw in there before I ask you fellas some questions. Also, the Birds of Prey Facebook group, guys, join that today. Join the conversation. Speak your mind, speak your piece. Also, Your Future Media, we are presented by them. Let me start with you, Sean. What was your reaction to the Falcons defeating the Jets 27-20?
Well, it was good to see him hold on to a lead, and Matt Ryan looked really good. He threw a couple touchdowns. We all kind of predicted Kyle Pitz would have a good breakout game, or a big breakout game, I should say. So it was good to see the Falcons, get out to that early lead. Of course, Mike Davis fumbled late in the game. I think it was at the end of the third quarter while we were only up probably, 2.5 sessions, probably 14 points, capitalizing off of that or something like that. But, the Falcons still handled adversity well. The Jets offense didn't really look that great. I mean, besides a couple penalties that was basically like chunk yards for them. Their first touchdown, I believe, was off a pass interference. It's the Falcons. It was good to see a win, first of all, especially coming off a terrible loss last week against Washington. So it was good. It was good to see the Falcons get a win.
Travis, love the hat, by the way. I'm jealous. You got to tell me where you got the hat from. I'm loving it. What was your thoughts on the Falcons getting their second win of the season, 27-20?
I loved it, man. I feel like we did what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? Went and took care of business. It was the Jets, so we were supposed to beat the Jets. I know that's your squad, but we were supposed to take care of business with that and do what we had to do, man. And like I said, we looked at pretty good other than the two fumbles, by Mike Davis and Hayden Hurst. Because we were driving on both of those, getting ready to score again. So it really should have been like 41-9. But it should have been. You know what I mean? But I'm happy with the win. We did what we were supposed to do, and all not at his strongest point. You know what I mean? We still missing guys. Ridley and Russell Gage didn't play. You know what I mean? We're not even at our strongest point. We still playing like that. We're putting up like 28 points a game. So I'm happy with it, man. I can't complain at all.
Nate, we talked about the shirt. Loving the shirt, man. Loving the shirt. Look, what was your thoughts on the Falcons getting that second win of the season against the Jets? We talked a little bit off air, a little bit about it, and you were speaking a lot of facts. What was your thoughts on that game?
I got it. First and foremost, with it being an early game, knowing that it's the Falcons and the Jets, it's not so important. But as a Falcon fan, you had to be there. You got to support, and they came and they showed out. Now, minus the turnovers and this and that, but for the most part, a la like Travis said, minus your number one and your number two receiver. I mean, and how they displayed being limited against arguably I got to give kudos to the Jets. They played admirably, especially on defense, because they was hitting us. But we came and we showed out and we did our job. I mean, yes, it's the Jets. Yes, we supposed to win these typical games, but it was well earned. And I got to give kudos to Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitz, and other people that stepped up just to get us a solid win.
Speaking of Kyle Pitts and that breakout game of his, look, let's break that down, Nate. We'll start with you on this one. 9 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Got the touchdown in the red zone, and that's a big deal here in Atlanta because the Falcons always struggle with getting the ball in the end zone. What was your thoughts on Kyle Pitts' breakout game, Nate?
Oh, just how he just made it look so easy. I mean, if you allow this man just to utilize his unicorn-ish athleticism, I mean, he demonstrated just how easy the game is. Everything is slowing down for him, and just how Arthur Smith just formulated certain routes just for him to stand out and step up. And those was just easy throws. And it just was like poetry in motion. And it opened up everything else. Like everything just happened for a reason. As long as you just go against the game plan and allow it to flow, Kyle Pitts can be that focal point that you envision him to become while picking him at number 4. It's just that simple.
Travis, your thoughts on Kyle Pitts' breakout game? First 100-yard game of his career, first touchdown of his career, and he did it in the red zone. I'm just excited about the red zone play. They finally wake up. Arthur Smith woke up, gave him the ball in the red zone. Travis, your thoughts on that?
Well, first I want to say Kyle Pitts is actually becoming a go-to guy. Also, he's starting to, he's slowly becoming the unicorn that they've been calling him, and he's getting his feet. Now, it seems more comfortable with the game now that the speed is slowing down for him a little bit. So it seems like, he's balling, man. Like I said, 9 receptions for 119 yards, TD, and it's only the beginning, man. He's getting better and better each week. He was supposed to kill the Jets, which he did, did his thing. And like I said, he's got strong hands, man. You can tell he's getting stronger. He's starting to, like he feeling himself now. And like I say, he's getting open so easy, man. Like, and they putting him all over the field. He can line up anywhere, like I say, tight end, slot, on the outside, and he just dominating whoever steps up against him. So, and Matt Ryan's out there throwing dimes to him. So he's killing it, man. I loved everything I seen about Cal, man. He's only gonna get better. So that's the scary thing.
Yep, and that one-handed catch, it was pretty impressive in London. Yep.
Oh yeah, how he made that look so flawless and easy.
It was just beautiful ESPN-like catch. Hopefully it was on the
he had his hand out. He had his hand out waiting for it before the ball even got there. It was just pretty.
Hey, do you want to check his gloves after that one? Stick them. Yo, that's cheating.
Absolutely. Sean, same question. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts' breakout performance in London, first 100-yard game, first touchdown, and first touchdown in the red zone?
No, it was definitely exciting to see. He just put on the gas early. You know what I mean? One of the first touchdowns that we ended up scoring from. It was good to see him, of course, have a red zone sighting. And the biggest thing I look at is creating separation. You know what I mean? One of the things with Julio Jones is he was always open because somehow, some way, especially in those key moments, it's like, dang, is that Julio? Like, where's the defender at? Whether it's possession catch, whatever it is, it's about moving the chains. So it's like Travis said, we can put him at, receiver, tight end, whatever it is. And he's found a way to get open. He's looking more comfortable. So I definitely like seeing, with Kyle Pitts, just the biggest thing with me, creating separation, making. I mean, he definitely made the contested catches as well. But I like seeing him create space because Matt Ryan, I'll give him credit. He's gonna he'll try to thread the needle if he has to, and he can still do it. But at the same time, you can make the job a lot easier if you're creating if you're creating space and you can definitely get open. And it's definitely a plus again going back towards the red zone targets. And what I like as well is that we knew Calvin Ridley was going to be out this game, so it wasn't necessarily like and also Russell Gage in play, so it wasn't necessarily Hayden Hurst is getting more targets than Pitts. And no, Pitts, this is your game. It's probably the game plan. We know our other two receivers, definitely Calvin Ridley, our star receivers out. It's your time to shine, and that's what he did. So it was good to see him step up to the plate.
Absolutely. Look, it was the Jets, but hey, I got to give him credit. He is a rook. He did what he had to do. He balled out. Loved the one-handed catch. Maybe this is something new. You guys mentioned this before, and that was a key. Kyle Pitts becoming the primary target for Matt Ryan. Maybe Calvin Ridley being out was the blessing. That Kyle Pitts may be a pressure guy. That's one thing to think about. Maybe he's one of those guys say, hey, when his back is against the ropes and they need him to step up, he could do that. Maybe it was just one game with Ridley out and Gage out, which they needed him to have a breakout game, and people are calling for it, and it happened because let's not forget they're calling him a unicorn. You have to live up to that. Each week. I'm not saying you're going to do what you did against the Jets, but you need to have great games like that more often. Hopefully he does. But maybe there's something to that. The number one and number two being out. We'll see. Maybe he's a pressure guy. Let's talk about the state of the defensive line, guys. Things maybe that I missed. How was the defensive line looking? I've seen some moments. But I'm not going to lie. I wasn't that impressed against the Jets. I seen a clean pocket for Zach Wilson at times, and he played bad at times. Zach Wilson on his own, and not really the offensive line's fault. But maybe you guys seen something different. Nate, let's go to you. The state of the defensive line. What are your thoughts on the defensive line, how they played? Anybody have a really good game? Anybody play bad? What were you seeing?
I'm a little bit staying the same. The same O2 that gets pressure. Fowler, Grady Jarrett. Same O2. Yes, we had a Ogundeji sighting, or whatever you want to call it. He got a sack. I want to say somebody else had a sack. I can't think off the top of my head, but it's refreshing to see someone other than Fowler or Grady Jarrett, making a name for itself. Other than that, the only one I could sit here and I could throw in another name, Mike Pennell. In his little short duty, he stood out. Came up. I guess they set up a screenplay. He was right there. A 330-some pound man, recognizing screens, stopping in his steps just to recover, backtrack, and stop a screen just right out the blue. Like, that was very impressive to me. Now, for some reason, why do a man off the street, off a practice squad, able to recognize that, and Tyler Davidson, that's been in that position for the past 5 weeks, can't do that? Make you want to say, right? We might have found our replacement. But Tyler Davidson is a very big disappointment. I don't understand what it is about that dude. I never liked him in the first place. I don't understand why he made the roster. But that's me to say, and here nor there. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm just a man on the couch.
Tyler Davidson, do not fight Nate, because I think I'm taking Nate in 3 rounds.
I'm just sitting on the couch, and
I got my money on Nate in 3 rounds.
You're underachieving me. I'm sorry, you underachieving. You're not worth that $1 million we are paying you, player. That's all I can say. But other than that, as a whole, in general, we moved the quarterback off the pocket. We moved him off his spot, and we made him make more mistakes than he did positive things. So, in kudos, they did just enough for us to get this win. So, I'm giving them a solid C, should I say.
Great breakdown, Nate. Travis, your thoughts on the state of this defensive line? Anybody you see get some hurries or really put that pressure on that maybe we're not talking about, or maybe we overlooked? Or was it kind of like what Nate said, same old, same old?
Well, like I said, Grady, well, he's doing his thing as usual, getting all the attention from opposing O-lines and doing what he can, as well as Fowler. Fowler stepping up just like he said he would. You know what I mean? this year. He's showing up every game. He's showing lots of improvement with his rushes. He has like 2 sacks through 5 games, which is pretty good considering. You know what I mean? Who else is on the line with him, helping him? Which ain't much, but there is upside there. The rookie defensive end, like I said, Okundeji from Notre Dame. He finished the game with a sack and 2 quarterback hurries. So, that's pretty good. So the potential is showing up. And Stephen Means almost got 2 sacks. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he almost got 2 sacks. He was very close. Very close. And I'm liking what I see so far. I'm trusting the process. We are striving, but we need another proven dominant pass rusher, I think. I don't know if we can make a trade for one, but if we get that other proven dominant pass rusher to go on what we got with Fowler and Grady Jarrett, I think we'll be good. But that's what I see from it. So I did see some potential.
Okay. And shoot, maybe Okundeji moving forward. And Travis, you kept your eye on him. I thought he did play well. I'm glad you brought that up. I almost forgot about that, but maybe he could build off that momentum. Got the bye coming up. When they watch the film, it's going to look good. Dean Pease, hopefully he's a motivator where he points it out, said, hey, guy, you do this more often, great things will happen. So we'll see. Sean, we'll conclude with you on the defensive line play. What did you see Sunday? Anything you like, anything you don't like?
Yeah, I mean, I say the D line. They had their moments. So I think it was the second to last play, of the game. Zach Wilson, he got sacked, and that basically sealed the deal. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same. I like to see more pressure. Like the guy said, Grady Jarrett, Dante Fowler, really the ones that's getting the most pressure. And so you like to see other guys that gets back there more, get more hurries, especially on these mobile quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And so I'll say it's pretty much the same. I think we can definitely improve, but the good thing is, we got to buy. Again, coming off a win like that in London, I think it's going to get everybody, rested. And, just going forward, hopefully the D-line continues to improve and get healthy again.
Cool. Absolutely. Let's talk about Richie Grant, the rookie safety for the Falcons. I'm hearing a lot of great things about his performance. Nate, you're shaking your head up and down, and you're pounding the heart. I think you're proud of him. I'll just get started with you. Your thoughts on Richie Grant and his showing in London?
For the most part, from what everybody's interview with Dean Pease and Jerron Harmon speaking on, he's not ready. He still needs to learn the defense, this and that. From what I've seen and what I witnessed in this game, they just let that man just rip, just let it go. And he took advantage of every opportunity. Yes, he could have did this and that, but for the most part, I ain't seen one. It was one play I ain't seen one of our safeties did in a long time since Willie Moe. Meet somebody in the hole when they was running the ball. And for him to be under 200 pounds as a safety and go head up with anybody, that was very encouraging. I would like to see him on the field a whole lot more. Just showing the versatility of playing nickel and center field and in the box. That's what we drafted or made him a second-round draft pick for him to do. That was very encouraging, and I can't wait. The man's going to have a bright future for us, and I know Dean Pease is going to enjoy this young dude in that secondary. Oh, yeah.
Travis, your thoughts on Richie Grant and his showing in London?
I think Richie Grant, man, he stepped up, for playing for Isaiah Oliver in his spot, showing his versatility, playing, he's a safety, he can play slot, showing versatility like that. And also, Darren Hall, he did his thing as a rookie, holding his own, seeing him out there for the first time, really, really seeing him some good time, have some good time out there. And both rookies going forward, I think we can be comfortable with knowing we got something there. I think.
Oh, yeah. Very
Sean,
encouraging.
Your thoughts on Richie Grant and the second-round pick's performance in London?
Well, going off this stuff with Nate and Travis, I gotta keep my eyes on him some more. But again, just it's good to hear that somebody has some more tenacity. The Falcons defense is kind of like where's really leadership at? You know what I mean? We haven't really had that fire since prime time, to be honest. And we got guys. Deion Jones is fine, like you said. Willie Moore was a banger, but sometimes Willie Moore he'll be on and off sometimes. You know what I mean? So. It's good to see, we got another our draft pick again is playing, and just he's versatile. Like Travis said as well, playing the nickel, he could play safety and plays Isaiah Oliver, who we got a couple years ago. Who I need to see some more plays from him as well. So it's good. It's good to hear about Grant. That he's still making plays. So I'm very hopeful.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on Grant. Is this? He looks like he wants to play football. He looked hungry. He looked like he sees the moment. I know it was the Jets, but at the end of the day, good football is good football. If the Falcons can continue to get their defensive players just wanting to play, being hungry, wanting to go out there and hit somebody, like this whole panel said, if Richie Grant every week is like, I'm going to play disciplined football, I'm going to listen to Dean Pease, and I'm going to go out there and hit somebody.
Yep.
If he does that, he should be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, don't forget about Jalen Hawkins. Jalen Hawkins, the safety, getting that interception, that pick. That was big, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing his thing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to Jalen Hawkins. Can't forget about that.
His booster right there.
Yep. Picking off Zach Wilson, that definitely helped this Falcons defense keep that energy up. I felt a lot of energy out of that Falcons defense, specifically in the first half. Let's talk about Calvin Ridley. There might be some overreaction on both ends. In the offseason, people were saying, well, good riddance with Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley is going to be a number one receiver. And maybe that was too much pressure for him in the beginning. And now people are saying, and a lot of news people are saying, that maybe Calvin Ridley isn't a number one receiver. That could be an overreaction as well. Sean, let me start with you. Do you view Calvin Ridley as a number one, or do you think we need to pump the brakes on that?
I still think he's number one receiver. Excuse me. Calvin Ridley, he had some drops of the game against Washington, but those are still contested passes. Those are deep balls, the corners on his neck. It was kind of tough, but I still view Calvin Ridley as a number one receiver. I didn't have him in my top 10 coming in this year. I know we had a debate. About that about some months prior. But Calvin Ridley, he's still, to me, I think he's right there. He's still right there being an elite receiver. He's one of the best route runners in the game. Him, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs. So he's definitely elite when it comes to that route running. And that, like I said, that's the biggest thing with me, just noticing receivers is creating separation, getting open. And Calvin Ridley can do that, unlike any other. So Calvin Ridley, is he a number one receiver? Definitely. I think if he's not top 10, he's 11 or 12. He's right there, and that's elite to me. As far as coming towards receivers. Hopefully he can continue to get healthy. He's a little banged up a little bit last year as well. I don't know if he missed a game last year, but the point is though, if he can get healthy after this bye week, we could definitely use him, and he's still the best receiver on our team, and he's a number one receiver on many teams as well.
Travis, is Calvin Ridley a number one receiver?
I think he's a number one, man. I just think that he got to stop dropping so many balls though. Like the unnecessary drop balls, like him. I know some of the balls get contested, but a lot of the time the balls hit him right in his hands. He got to catch those balls, man. If you want to be the number one, you got to come down with those balls. You know what I mean? The number ones come down with those. So, but I also think he might need like some more help. Maybe another big body on the other side of him, like perhaps like a Mike Williams trade, from the Chargers or something like that. Somebody like that on the other side of him. If we can get somebody like that, I know it won't happen. It's fantasy, but I'm just saying somebody like another big body on the other side of him, I think that'll help him out also. And I think that'll complement him and make him just play even better, just like, when Julio was there. But I think he's a number one.
Great point. Nate, do you agree with Sean and Travis that Calvin Ridley is a number one receiver despite recent drops and being criticized for maybe not turning up field and trying to avoid hits or whatever he was trying to do on that?
Well, since you put it like that, I'm gonna have to. I was thinking about this. I remember because me and Travis and Ron Thomas. I'm gonna have to give you a shout out, Ron. We had a discussion about old Calvin Ridley, And I basically broke it down to the point that it's kind of a cliche to label these receivers as number one, number two, 1A, 1B, this and that. I just look at him as a playmaker. He basically does his job to open up everybody else and vice versa. Do I consider him a number one? No, I do not. For the simple fact he's not as consistent as a true number one should be. Until he proves that, then I will give him that label. But I'm not opposing of giving labels to number one, number two, number three. I just look at it as you got playmaker 1, 2, and 3, because your job is to get open, which he does get separation. But now you've seen a breakout game in Kyle Pitts. Could you consider him the number one? I mean, to each his own, how you ever see it. His job is to open up Calvin Ridley and vice versa, and Hayden Hurst and everybody else that's playmakers across the team. And that goes vice versa to every team. But if you want to label them number one, that's how you do it. I'm not going to label him that. I just see him as a comprehend or just a number two or number one, vice versa, however you want to put it. He just fits what Arthur Smith want to do because he should just open up, vice versa. So that's how I just see it.
Let me tell you this, and maybe it's an overreaction, guys, and I'll let you respond to this. I think moving forward, next 2 or 3 weeks, and maybe I'm sipping, and I talk about Kool-Aid a lot, guys. I don't know why. I don't even drink Kool-Aid, but I'm talking about Kool-Aid a lot, but maybe I'm sipping too much of the Kyle Pitts Kool-Aid. I think moving forward, Kyle Pitts will turn into that number one. Am I crazy for saying that? I've seen against the Jets. The Jets don't have the most disciplined team in the world, but like me and Nate talked about off air, and he explained even more, they got some hitters over there. A bunch of young guys who want contracts, playing hard, typical Jet stuff, right? And then they want the money, and then it's bye-bye time for the most part. That's usually how it goes. Anyways, back to the point.
But let me say this though.
Well,
let me say this, man. Kyle Pitts, I think, like I say, he will probably end up being, well, obviously he's the number one tight end, but he's like a hybrid. So he's a receiver and a tight end. So, you can play him at anything. So he's receiver / tight end, however you want to call it. But he's definitely the number one tight end. But receiver, you have to give them labels. And you have to say who the number one is. That's what the scouting report says. Just like when a team coming in to play, you can be like, well, who's the number one receiver? That's why that's important. You have to give them those labels. So Ridley is the number one right now. So that's all I want to say.
Yeah.
But let me go back to this. If Kyle Pitts continues, let's say he continues this dominance, teams are going to game plan and view him as the number one receiver on this team, especially if you see Calvin Ridley not taking, and yes, right now it's a little bit of overreaction, what's going on, but if he's not taking those steps, this might have been that confidence game for Kyle Pitts. Because, yes, they're comparing him to other tight ends and how quickly other tight ends got their first 100-yard game. And I can't remember exactly the numbers, but damn, for Gonzalez, it was a while until he got his first 100-yard game. And to see how far he came from his rookie year or second year, it's crazy. Even when he played for Atlanta, outstanding. But I think Kyle Pitts, who there's so much pressure on him to be that unicorn, be great, he doesn't have a choice but to continue to grow. And I just think that Kyle Pitts potentially towards the middle and end of the season could be viewed as the number one receiver by teams on the scouting report saying, hey, we got to double this guy. That one-handed catch, this, that, and the third. Maybe Calvin Ridley, those drops continue to happen. And if they do, teams won't respect it. Even though right now I think teams – they respect Calvin Ridley's route running because it is superb. They respect him more because of what he did in the past, and I understand that. I'm not hating on Calvin at all. But I'm starting to sip that Kool-Aid with Kyle Pitts.
Oh, yeah. But let me chime in on something. Because, I mean, if you look at if you want to say a comparison, the Oakland Raiders or Kansas City Chiefs, their main focus is their tight end / wide receivers, Darren Waller and Kelsey. Now, if you take them out, then yes, But if they utilize their focal point with them to open up everybody else, we can probably transition into that and just basically pick your poison, so to speak. I mean, with Calvin Ridley being the traditional wide receiver, yes, you can sit there and label him a number one. I ain't got nothing against that. But the way I look at it is, it's all about just number one option to vice versa, number two, number three. I mean, 1 week, Kyle Pitts be your number one wide receiver. The following week, Calvin Ridley can't. It's just depending on the mix, the matchups, or all this and that. I mean, it's how you ever display the opposition. That's the way I just look at it.
I get what you're saying. Cal Pitts might be like a number one target 1 week, but Ridley's still the number one until that changes. Until let's not jump the gun. It was versus the Jets. Let's not jump the gun.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not jumping the gun. I'm just like
now when he does this, listen. Now when he does this versus better teams, then we can start having this conversation. But it's the Jets. Let's not go crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Oh no, that's
fair.
I'm not going crazy though. But I mean, I'm just saying to the point. If you want to just label Calvin really at number one, I need to see more less drop and more north and south rather than east and west. And I'm gonna use Sean things, Nate. I'm gonna use Sean thing real quick. Go to Madden and see who's the number one receiver and see what it says. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. No, real quick. And I need to see more not disappearing in the second half if you want to label this man as number one. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Look, guys, we have 2 weeks before they play the Dolphins. They're on the bye week. We didn't plan for this, but real quickly, because we have some time. Cordell Patterson, give us a season review so far, how you guys feel about him. Travis, I'll start with you. How do you grade his season? What do you like about him? Are you surprised about some things? Just give me your breakdown on Patterson, if you don't mind.
Well, as far as Cordell Patterson, I'm actually surprised that he's doing so well. I thought he was just going to be a guy to come in and just, be a Swiss Army knife, which he kind of is. But I'm saying, like, I thought they was going to mostly run him from, like, running back. Maybe you might see him a little bit at receiver, but not really cause a lot of waves. I wouldn't expect him to do what he's doing. But as far as the grade, man, I give him an A, man. Like, besides Matt Ryan, him and Matt Ryan is the MVP right now of the team. And that's just the truth. Like, they are the stars. They're the standouts, man. Like, when you turn on the tape, who do you see jumping out at you? It's Cordell Patterson and Matt Ryan doing his thing. So that's what it is, man. Cordell is balling.
Absolutely. Nate, your thoughts on Patterson and his season so far?
In hindsight, I'm not surprised. I mean, just him being a Swiss Army knife, I've watched it when he was with New England, Chicago. So with this being, I'm just shocked that this man ain't had no big contract with one of those two teams. Like, why would you even allow? Like, one thing, Cordell Patterson is a football player. You don't know what he is. He is a true 100 grand football player. This man, you put him anywhere and he's going to give you 100%, no matter what. So to be honest, I'm not surprised. Let that man put him in perfect situation, and he's going to give you that 110, whatever they say. Like, he is going to showcase 100% of his ability, and that's what he is giving you, 100 grand. So I'm not surprised at all.
Sean, you have any final thoughts on Patterson? We'll conclude with you.
No, definitely. I think bringing Patterson in, he's a football player. You know what I mean? It's like Nate was saying as well. I mean, he's a playmaker. You know what I mean? And he was a playmaker in the Vikings, Chicago, here as well. So I'm glad we got Cordell Patterson.
Forgot about the Vikings.
Exactly. Right. It's crazy. He's been on so many teams. But excuse me, guys. But I mean, Cordell Patterson. I'm glad we got him. He's such a hybrid because he can't play running back. He can't do return. Like, he'll bring it out 8 yards deep in the end zone. It's like, what is he thinking? Then Patterson down the sideline like Joe Buck, someone Fox. And it's crazy, man, because he's such a playmaker, man. So I'm glad we got him. Hopefully they re-sign him. I got to see the contract again, but no, I love it, man. And I give him an A right now. He's definitely honestly, he's been producing the most on the team, more than Ridley, more than Pitts, more than anyone, to be honest. I mean, him and Matt Ryan, yeah, because Matt Ryan's throwing the ball, but it's Patterson. And I want to go back towards the last topic. Look, I think that the most success the Falcons have is when we're distributing the ball. Everybody. Remember that 2016 year, Julio Jones, of course, he was the best receiver to me in the league. Probably the year after that as well. But Mohamed Sanu, that's when he was really having an impact. Austin Hooper, Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman. So Pitts, he had his breakout game. I understand what you guys were saying as far as I say number one option. You know what I mean? Who's going to be the number one option? Okay, is it Pitts? Is it really? I don't. Hey, the more the merrier. You know what I mean? We got as many weapons. Whoever gets open first, and we know Matt Ryan doesn't mind distributing the ball. We saw Tajay Sharp have a decent game as well. He got some receptions in there. So. I mean, that was just my point from the last one. But I mean, the more the merrier, man. The Falcons, the thing I like most about the Falcons, man, is just everyone getting a chance to get the ball and make plays.
Yeah.
So if Pitts is making plays, if it's his game, that's his game. If it's Ridley's game, it's his game. So that's what I want to say about that.
Oh yeah.
And let's just hope that. And let me say one more thing before we end this. And let's just hope that Matt Ryan keep distributing that ball when Ridley and Gage come back. I don't want to see nothing change.
Exactly.
I got one more thing though. I want to chime in on this little comment that Steve McFarland brought up. Davis is running hard and the O-line is looking a lot better. Yes, they are. Slight miss second level blocks, but for the most part, they have been looking a lot better week in and week out. I can chime in on that. Nice little statement, Steve McFarland.
Absolutely. Any last comment from you guys at all?
I don't know. That was it. I liked that little comment that Steve McFarland said.
I got one last comment, like what Nate just touched on with the Davis thing. Me and him go back and forth with Davis and Cordell Patterson. Cordell, Mike is running a lot harder here lately. I noticed that he is running hard, but he still ain't running as hard as Cordell. But that's all I'm gonna say.
He's running hard, dog. He got
He not looking as good as Cordell, though. Still.
He may not know. Hold on. Now, see, you got one. I got one more comment now. We should have to make this argument. Now, let's put this on film. Now, mind you, Cordell Patterson is looking good, and he makes it look easy. That's when the offensive line is blocking. But Mike Davis got to basically break a lot of tackles. Defensive lineman is already in the backfield, 2 yards before he even can gain 1 or 2. He has some nice runs, but he got to go through a lot of punishment.
He got to get that vision together like Cordell.
He got to get a lot of punishment to get some positive yards. That's all I'm saying. But
you got to get that vision together, Nate.
There ain't no vision. We gonna
that's vision. If Cordell Patterson coming there running behind that O-line, the same O-line, and then Wayne Gallman Jr., nobody even mentioned him coming there, just learn the playbook and looking good.
John,
Mike Davis, there's no excuse.
Please elaborate on this.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse. None. Same offensive line for all of them.
It is.
Guys, that's a great point, Travis. I like you said that it is the same offensive line. Look, we had a great show tonight. Nate, Travis, Sean. Guys, thanks for coming on, giving the great insight. The Flying High podcast. Go into the Birds of Prey Facebook group. You're going to see more conversation. You're going to see articles. Nate is cracking up. Travis is cracking up. We're all having fun. Thank you guys for joining us.
I had to get you.
Your Future Media.
That's good.
Everybody have a blessed night.